Hello guys, my name is Armin. In today's episode, Learning Revitzo, we want to take a look at weekly 3D exports from Revit to Revitzo. Most organizations, they have their container model, which is going to be a Revit model that all the other Revits from the design or from the trade partners fabrication models are linked to that container model. They set up a weekly export, but you need to set up the process of the model and also all the sheets and how you want these 3D view to be exported from all these Revit compiled models to the Revitzo. So today I want to go through some of the tips and tricks and give you a best practices and what is the best way to basically do this workflow. Hope that you guys like it. If you do it in a different way in your company, please share it in a comment section down below so I can review it. I can create a different video and share your thoughts as well. So if you like the video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like. It's going to help the channel. And let's jump into the Revitzo.
In today's episode, Learning Revitzo, we want to take a look at a very important process. It's just going to be the model management and then 3D exports. So I want to go over every single detail in this tutorial because some companies they have their own container model, which basically they have one Revit model. They're linking all the, let's say, design model to it or any fabrication model that they get from their trade partners. So they put everything in a container model. They have one big master, like a federated or merged model from all the Revits, and then they create a 3D in that environment and basically sending out and push out iteration when they get the new update on weekly basis or like twice a week. It's basically based on their workflow. So right here, I just want to go over the items that I think really important when you're creating that container and when you put together a 3D export view. I think you should kind of pay attention to these a little bit items, and it's going to help the process. It's going to make it way cleaner and nicer when you deal with the actual model in Revitzo. So first thing first, we want to create one export view and then edit it, make it the way that we want, and then that's going to be scheduled to be pushed out when we basically schedule it for the new updates. So the first thing first, let's just go into views. Let's say this is our merge model that we have. I have like a bunch of models connect to it. So we want to kind of go to the views. So I want to go create just one views inside, let's say, these folder that we have for our views. Quick note, if you guys see kind of these blue dot versus kind of gray square, blue square. So the difference between these two is, so these are a perspective view. And, let me click on it. So you won't be able to move around. So it's a perspective like this. And the other ones are the ortho. So it's just basically the 3D that you can kind of move around. So just want to make sure you guys, when you see this color, you understand the difference between those two, like why these are blue and why these are gray. So these are the blue ones, perspective created with the camera inside of Revit, and the other ones is just, basically just the ortho. So let me just close this one. So I want to create a duplicate of this 3D right here. So I'm just going to go here, just create. I don't want any detail or anything coming. And you can see it's the ortho view that we want. Let's just change the name. Revitzo weekly 3D export. Let's say we let me just type it correctly. Okay, this is what we want. So it's already created. I know it's ortho. So first thing first, you can kind of see my model has like some items connect to it. We can kind of look at it. The main thing that always I would do, I check these detail levels. So make sure it's on fine. So when everything goes into Revitzo, you basically see all the little details in your model. So one note. Second note, make sure it is shaded. Don't go above that, don't go below that. Shaded is the best option over here to kind of show your model in Revit. The other thing some people want to do, they basically want to turn on the section box. So when you kind of turn on the section box, you'll be able to see the section box over here. If you want to make your project smaller or just basically get rid of everything around if you want to only send this building. And one note over here, you guys can see I turned on the section box, but I'm not seeing anything here. And the reason is the annotation might be off here. Yeah. So if the annotation are off, I won't be able to see the section box. So if you let me just turn it on, and you guys can see right now I have the actual section box on in these views. So I can turn it off. It's gonna go away, and then you guys will be able to kind of see. And when you put it back on, it basically comes back on, and you can kind of do it. So this is the section box that you're talking about. You can make them smaller the way that you want. It's kind of depends. Let's say you want to only send one building or one location, you basically adjust it over here. So that's a little choice if you want to do it, if you want to do level by level, let's say, or if you want to make the whole building a little bit smaller, you can turn it on. But first thing, make sure you grab one ortho, duplicate, adjust the name right here, come over here, do the detail, and then plus you do the shaded one. So when you're done over here, next place that we go, it's gonna be our visibility graphic. So I would recommend get rid of all the annotations. Like it's gonna take away all the lines, all the stuff that you don't need. It's gonna clean it up. You don't need this one. Analytical gone. Like you don't need any of this. That's be turned off. Important categories, if it's gonna be a bunch of CADs and models and all of those, gone. You don't need any of that. You only need actual Revit models. Links, make sure you double check everything is linked, apply, and okay, right? So, okay, I think I missed one. Right here, there you go. Everything is good, so all of them are gone. When I hit that, okay. So it's basically make it clean, no lines, no imported items, like everything are gone. I'm happy with this right now, right? These export that I have. So these are the little kind of little bit of items that we have. The one thing is when you double check all the links, because you want to make sure every single Revit model, especially with the design that has sheets in them, when you export them, it basically is intact and has all the data and property to be pushed from your container model to your Revitzo model. So make sure the links are not broken. Everything is linked. Double check that. One other thing that some people wants to create color coding, right? So they want to basically have their models color coded. Let's say they want to have all the mechanical descent from here. Let's say magenta, electrical yellow, all the plumbing green, fire red, and even you could go a little bit deeper, more in detail. You go system by system. Let's say you want to have the supply duct orange, return, I don't know, like a different color, right? If you want to have like a different system in plumbing, let's say you have your gravity versus pressurized, like all of those a little bit color coded. The best way to do it is just create a filters over here. So you can go to filter right here. I can do add and then go to new. So right here, I want to create, let's say, one for my mechanical. I can create here. I'm gonna just, yeah, let's say mechanical export, right? And then from here, okay, mechanical is selected, and I can also double check. I want to make sure it grabs everything, everything mechanical related. It's already basically grab it from the model, but I want to double check and make sure I kind of select all the categories that I feel like is related to mechanical. So it basically grabs everything from there. So When I'm happy here, I can basically create a rule, create all of those. Because mostly what I do, I create worksheet for each of those and then basically have everything created. So let's say to worksheet 1 or worksheet 2, basically apply everything to that worksheet that I have in my container model. So let's say I'm happy with this. I'll select it. Right here, I need to the mechanical export that I created selected and then add here. So right now I can go to the patterns and then make sure select solid and then the color that you want. Okay, so let's say I want a magenta. I want to call it for the background. I want to have these magenta and then okay. So I created one for my mechanical export. So right now when I export these to Revitzo, anything that is associated with the mechanical model, a linked mechanical model that I have here, the HVAC one, basically everything is going to be magenta. You can create this for, let's say, plumbing, electrical, fire, even if you want to go a little bit more deeper into how to create all of those and be just, all color coded system by system, one by one, you can kind of use here and then basically create all of those. Let's say I create all, I am happy, okay, apply. So that's done. The next thing when you are good with everything that you created over here, all the views, all the filters, linked model, you need to go to your Revitzo, publish. And one more thing we need to double check here. First, we need to select the view that we want to send out. So I think I selected, this is the one that we created. If you want to send the viewpoints that you have here under the viewpoints, there's a lot of them. You can send them if you have something specific. I would not recommend it. It's gonna be crazy. Whatever you want, you can create a viewpoint in Revitzo, but make sure you have texture room for sure. Grid areas, you don't need any lines. You don't need any empty object properties. Point cloud, if you have anything linked to it. And then this is kind of like this one, the advanced settings. So I would recommend do all of this, right? Or at least those two. So this one, it basically publish parts of object as separate geometry nodes in the object tree, right? So in your object tree, you have separate geometry nodes for those, for every single one, separate them. This one, it's basically if you decide to have the property, it's basically create an issue if you are not consistent when you export, then you select that button. When you're creating your search set, it basically confuse and or you change the numbers to basically the actual naming, like a comparison between all of those items that you select. So I would recommend ignore this one, right? This one is good. It says publish all instances of nested link instead of publishing a link once and then reusing the result. This might help if the instance gets positioned incorrectly, right? So this is helpful and this is a good option over here. So if you have any items in the before like 2024 and earlier Revit, this one is going to help you kind of migrate all of those to the recent versions. Just select this option if you migrated your project from 24 or earlier to 25 or later. This will publish categories or object property as in older Revit versions where they have different names. So this is a good one if you kind of changing the Revit basically versions go from 2024 and above. You can check this one, but for sure come to this advanced publish, get these two. It's gonna give you more content in the Revit, so right. So when you're happy with that, select the sheets. So make sure you select all the sheets that you have. Publish sheet from the linked file. So even it means all of these files that I'm linking to this is not going to only send the sheets that are it's in, let's say, the architectural. Every single model that I link to my container model and has a sheet data, it will send it for me to read. The publish mode, they have different items, right? It is recommended to use these Revit PDF because that's what is built in Revit. These are the Bluebeam and all the stuff on the third party, but is this recommended this? How do I know that? I clicked on this one, right? So it says allows you to publish. The recommended publish method is Revit PDF, built-in Revit printer. It's available in 22 and later. So I would rather use this. I've never had any issues with any sheets, any drawing, any scale, any displacement, any messing with this. But if I use the other versions, I see some issues. And then for matching sheets for the views or for next updates, it's basically give you the option how you want to send it, right? You want to basically match the sheets each time based on sheet number, sheet title, file. You can select, I would say, combination of parameters. So it's basically look for it, see which one apply to it, the best one. Like basically it's going to be on autopilot and then find everything. So when you're happy with all of this, you hit save and you good to go. Right here you can change the model, so you have a different model that you can link if you creating a new one. If you're gonna update and connect to the existing one, right here is gonna give you which one you want to send this 3D view that you have. So when you're happy, you simply hit OK, and then it publishes to Revitzo. So I just want to make sure you guys kind of grasp what we did. We basically created 3D view for our weekly export. We changed all the color. We set all the levels of detail, the appearances. If you want to grab a section box, we do it around and make it fit. Check the links, fix the sheets, make sure everything is going over there, and then we decide if this is going to go to the already created model or is going to be the first time that we're sending it to a new model. So that's going to go, and then each week we're going to do this, right? So each week that's going to be done, not going through all of this. You're basically just creating these Revitzo weekly 3D report, hit publish, and basically goes over there. And then in different kind of video, you can go over these Revitzo scheduler, so you can kind of schedule Revitzo to send all of this, right? It's gonna be really easy to just click on this and then have it export everything for you from this model to your Revitzo without you even touching it and coming back. You define the 3D export, you schedule it, I'll send it every week. You know, it's gonna be an easy process. Hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you like the content, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. That's going to help the channel, and share this with your friend if you find it useful. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.